So first things first, what are the stuff that worry you, Josh? Can you tell us the stuff that worries you?
Like your anxiety of adulthood.
Okay. Adulthood now. I mean, it's always going to be, you always have the fear of the road isn't linear, right? Like you don't know what's next necessarily.
Right.
You can't see the future as easily as it was when you were younger, right? Where everyone already knows, they've plotted out the graph for you or whatever. Like you already have the steps: primary school, secondary school, uni, job, whatever. But as you grow up and then you realize, wait, that's not actually true, and there are many other ways. And you're like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this. So stuff like that. And of course, you're thinking, oh, I need to be financially stable on my own, all those
Self-independence.
Financial freedom stuff. So those are all the sorts of things that make you or me personally, make me, worry. You're like, oh,
I think it worries like everybody in this stage. When you're already in uni, you're almost done, and you now be thinking that what's next? Will I easily find a job, or will I easily become like self-independent? And I think that anytime I look at like successful people, I always like they're always passing through like one tough stage. And in my mind, I'm like, what is my own tough stage? What's like, how will I like? You don't know what you're going to do to like pass through that
Rough patch
because you don't even have an idea of how that rough patch will be.
All right, for me personally, I feel like because of coming back to where we come from, we're from like Africa, and we're from Nigeria to be precise, and that society that we grew up in, we have been conditioned to like there are certain milestones. Should I call them milestones? Where like like what Josh said in the beginning, when it was like you have to go to school, like primary, like nursery first, you're born. Some parents even start their kids out in crèche. Then you go from crèche to nursery, then to primary, then secondary. Then when you get to uni, you're like, okay, now I'm here. And they always feel like this is like the place where you like the first place you get to, like you discover how the world works. You get my point? So like when you get to this point and you're like, oh shit, like what's next? And you know the kind of economic situation Nigeria is in right now. So you're like, unemployment is setting. You get my point? Where, for instance, the three main things that all parents want their kids to be is doctors, lawyers, or engineers, And these guys, still, they are riding Ubers, they are driving people around because of there's no job. You're like, yo, man, where do I fit in this whole thing? That's why someone like me that even study, or us, rather, would even study any of those things. Oh, no. There's one person that studied, that's an engineer here. But you get my ideas, like,
that still matter, like, okay, because I'm studying, like engineering or mechanical engineering side. Does it still matter? Like, it's still unsure. We don't really know what. I personally don't really know what is next. Like, I envy all these like tech guys, all these like I have this philosophy that doing cool stuff, maybe it's easy, but learning how to do cool stuff, I think is way harder than doing them. Or maybe watching people make all these like high tech stuff, like what Elon Musk does. Like it's really cool seeing it from afar. But I'm very sure that he has gone through like a lot of like tough stages, rough patch. Because I sometimes I watch like all these YouTube interviews of Elon Musk saying that he had to borrow money to do what he's doing now, like Tesla, because somebody actually believed in him. And me, I'm like, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's like, never easy.
Bringing your dreams to reality, there's a lot of work to do, and the anxiety is that you don't know like you don't know how tough it's going to be, so therefore you cannot prepare yourself for the rough stages or whatever.
Me, I feel like, for example, yeah, they always say this saying that life is a gamble, yeah. So everything that you do is based on risk, yeah. And it's only the big people that are willing to take that risk that actually succeed. You get what I'm saying? So, as a result, I see like all these guys, like the anxiety for me isn't the fact of like, oh, not knowing what to do. It's like, will it succeed? Because if it fails, you have to be able to. That's the point of being an adult. Is that once it fails, you have to be able to like man up. I know that there are a lot of people that will attack me now for saying man instead of should I say human up? I don't know. I don't know, man. Please don't come for me on Twitter or anywhere, I beg. But like, you get my point. Is like you have to be able to brace yourself and be like, that's where self-independence comes in. Because of like I was talking to Josh yesterday night, we were having a discussion. I was like, it's so easy to rely on people. Do you get? It's comforting. It's something that is more what's the word I should use? Like, it's more of like a home. It gives you a homey feel when you rely on someone. You get like you see that person as your like a cushion to, like, if you fall, you won't really land on the floor. The person cushion you. That's what it feels. But like being able to believe in yourself, I think is harder, and that's the anxiety for me. Is like believing in oneself and believing in one's capabilities. Do you get?
Yeah. But you were saying something about will it succeed? So will what succeed?
What you want to do succeed, like your plan.
So what is your plan?
Personally, I don't have one. I'll get back to you when I find out.
Me too. Like, I feel that, okay, what is my plan? Can I actually write down a plan I have for myself? It's not actually easy, like finishing school and everything, having like a breakdown of what you want to do and how you are going to do what you want to do. Do you get?
For sure. I think the main thing is like, especially when by the time you reach uni and you're like, oh, but the world is actually not one straight line, or I think, and I feel like I feel like the good thing is nowadays we're realizing that more. Like in general, we are realizing that more. So because most times, like I was saying, right, you go back home to Nigeria, you see people that graduated since, you have your master's, some people have PhD, but there's nothing for you to do, you know? And these same people, it's not like they don't have ideas or something. I'm sure if you sit down and talk to a lot of them, they have ideas, they have things they want to create and things they want to do. So they just have no way to do it. They have no way to do it. Alright? So for some of them, it's capital, you know, opportunity, all these things. So eventually, even when most people just even want to okay, let me just get a job so I can live my life, so I can actually be alive.
Right? Yeah. And to add to what you're saying, without like getting too political, because like we're going to get a bit political. I'm going to get a bit political when I say like, me. But what I'm saying is like, to add to what you said, Josh, like for example, in Nigeria, it's not easy to get a loan for a job. To start your own business or whatever because of the taxes and everything.
No, but taxes are not that bad.
Taxes in Nigeria,
they are pretty bad.
No,
like,
they're not.
For example, I had my friend that was telling me that his mom wanted to collect money. Like I think she wanted to collect 0 million naira or something, like 10 million. I forgot it. And they said she has to have like 100 million in her account to get that. And I'm like,
but that's not tax. That's a loan, no?
Yeah, that's the loan thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the loan to start a business is not really favorable, like in other countries where it's easy to get a loan and you pay it back.
And how do you know that it's easier in other countries?
I don't think it's easier, honestly. No, because the way loans work is you have to show a way you can pay it back, right? Yeah. That's why they'll say you must have had so money monthly coming in or something. Because they have to make sure. Okay, we don't care about what you want to do. All we care about is getting our money back. So I can't just give you free money. It's a business. They don't actually care about whether you succeed or not.
Yeah, they just want their money back with interest.
That's why they do suffer. But I feel like that's everywhere, not just Nigeria.
Okay, but last, like this anxiety that we're having, like does money actually cure it? Like, 100%. I'm very sure that money kills you, like, let's say like 80%.
I mean, it depends on the kind of money you mean, right?
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, let me just give like, if like you have like at least, let's say like $1 million. Okay, $1 million, like $50,000 now. One. Like, does it cure it?
No, not necessarily. Because part of the anxiety, like I said, is you want to start something, right? So until you actually start it, I feel like majority of it is going to be, so you can have $50K, right? And you're like, oh, you have so many ideas. That's literally just the starting line at that point, right? But the good thing is, I feel like for me personally, for instance, majority of the anxiety is just getting to the point where you can actually start, right? Like, you know, okay, I can eat for like the next foreseeable future, but now I have money to actually, tackle my dreams. I can do what I want to do. The anxiety of whether, oh, my business is going to fail or not is less when you know even without it failing, you're still okay.
You're still
right?
okay.
Yeah. So, and I think like if you have like, okay, let's say like that $50,000 you want, but having like, what is your plan? Like what exactly you want to do? Yes, to like with the money.
But I feel like that is it's a personal thing for each person.
Yeah.
Like, what will you do if you're giving?
Yeah, but most people don't really have like
a clear. Yeah, but
very,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's up to you to go and find out for yourself.
Yeah.
Read and watch all these things that have to do with investments and stuff like that. Find out how to flip that money into something else. You get my point?
Yeah.
Yeah. But let me ask you a question. Okay. Do you because we talked about like growing up at school now, like uni, yeah? Do you guys, let me ask the both of you, do you guys feel like as if contemporary school right now, like contemporary education is a scam or not? Because of this system has been in place for over like 100 years plus. Yeah, this system of like our current educational system, yeah? But take for example places like the Netherlands and Sweden and all these kind of places where the education is still there, but it has changed. It gets changed along with the times than the current one that we're practicing now. Is the current one that we're practicing now? The question is the current one that we're practicing now, do you see it as being a scam or not? Because me, I feel like, I'll save my own answer for last, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about that.
Left to me has always been a scam, man. I already said it. I already said it before, like, for me, it's such a waste that you spend over 12 years of your life. You're learning the same, like,
behind four walls.
Forget that you're behind four walls. Like, some people are day students and you get to go out. But I'm saying you spend literally like 4 years of your life, you're not doing anything meaningful, right? You're relearning the same rubbish. Like, by the time you reach SS1, for instance, everything you're learning, you're most likely not going to use. Like, I can literally say my entire secondary school education, I haven't used it. I haven't used it. I don't use, like, I understand if you want to be a doctor, right? So obviously you
have to go to med school for that. And it is a new kind of curriculum and syllabus for that. Because they are
but it still helps you when you know chemistry, for instance, biology, obviously. But my whole thing is the way we use the education is like a huge waste of time and resources, because children should be doing more stuff, right? Like, left to me from like GS2, it should be a matter of, okay, what interests do these kids have?
What draws you?
Right? Let's say a kid's like, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this. Then you figure out something where they can actually go to a hospital and be learning little things. Right? Obviously, you're not going to show them cadavers and stuff, but you show them you find out, they say, oh, I like this, I like that. They learn more about what they want to do earlier on. So if they're like, oh, okay, we don't like this, then you say, oh, maybe a kid's like, oh, I like cars, I want to be a mechanic or something. Okay. You actually show them that.
Organize like trade, like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, for example, in Nigeria, remember that when we reached SS1, they started a new curriculum system where it was like we take like 5 core subjects, then we have 3 extra ones plus 1 trade.
No, straight.
Yeah.
It's not tie-dye and rubbish. They would say.
Yeah, that's not rubbish.
That's
But
not-
like it was
No, it's not a good idea. It's rubbish. You should. The core subjects I waste at that point. It's like, what am I doing with math again in SS1? What am I doing?
But
I don't see the point.
I personally, I don't really feel education is like 100% a scam.
Okay, how so?
Because like in a way everything is linked. I just feel that the process at which the way education is, I feel that is where is a bit corrupted, in the sense that, okay, physics, if you want to be like an engineer, or you have to learn like some you have to actually really learn physics. You have to really know maths.
But that goes into, that's what I'm saying, when it goes into specialists, like specialist territory. You know my point? It's like for a general system that has to that compasses even people that, like, for it to be general means that it has to cut across all the boards.
Yes.
So it needs to come down to the essentials. What do they need essentially to learn?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if you want to be like a doctor, or you want to be something, like anything you want to be, there's a foundation that you need to have. That means there's a basic knowledge that you need to have at first. And I feel that is how education is corrupted, in the sense that you have to learn physics, you have to learn maths, you have to know English, you have to know like so.
But you don't use English after primary 6. I'm telling you. It's the same thing. It's the same English you're learning.
Like,
yeah, but when we got to uni, they made us all take English 181.
Yeah, but here they made you take English because you're from a different country, right? It's a different thing. But even that English you learned to uni, was it different from the primary school English?
No, most of us didn't even go to English, but we still passed.
They are like now, like this semester, I did an English course that they are teaching us how to like write reports writing based like yes. So that is something that we actually need to learn. And before you know like the stuff that are teaching you reports writing, you have to know some other stuff about English. You get you can't just use your practice.
Why not? Okay, what is it in report writing that you can't just use what you learned in primary school for? Like,
okay, in primary school now, what do we do? Normal composition, like composition writing,
adjectives, verbs,
all this. Yeah, but when you're in secondary school now, you like write.
You still wrote essays in like the final exams.
Yeah, they will teach you how to write like normal.
Yeah, but I wrote essays in primary
and
school.
how to like compose words.
Yeah, but our essay count those back then was like maybe like 200 words. Yeah. But in secondary school, it reached like 1,000.
Yeah, but what's the difference?
I feel
like those adding more.
I feel in my primary school learning is not really corrupted yet. It's not really. I think it's when you come to uni now, because when you come to uni, they have to be like a bit specific. Draw you like it should be like the distance between adulthood, how stuff is in real life, and uni, what they teach you in uni. I think the gap is too much, because when it comes from primary school and secondary school, I think it's very, very close to each other, because the learning is supposed to be step by step. Then after uni, adulthood. And adulthood should be a bit close to finishing from uni.
I would say the issue for me is, no matter what you do, you can't learn everything, right? And the issue is they're not teaching essentials anymore, right? But what you should be grooming children for is, you should teach them how to learn stuff, right? So whenever they're in a situation, they're like, oh, okay, you need to do this specific task. They can go and learn it on their own, because that's how the real world operates. Every day you come into contact with stuff you don't know, you have to figure it out, right? But my issue is in primary school and secondary school, especially in like Nigeria, for instance, they'll be teaching you what to learn as opposed to how to learn. Right? And that's my point. If you teach people how to learn, that's it. They don't need anything again. Because, like I said, for me, I didn't even use any of the things I learned in secondary school when I came to uni. Right? Everything is new because you're starting coding for the first time. You're just using logic. Yeah. But if you know how to learn, it's easy. You start, okay, this is how it works. As opposed to when your entire life they've been teaching you what to learn, what you find out is, in Nigeria especially, right, that I know of anyway, you go to a lot of unis and you see graduates and stuff, and because they never actually figured out how to learn, when they're in a situation that it wasn't in that book, they don't know what to do.
And I feel that's the problem with Nigeria. Like in most like African countries in general, like we are very, very like conditioned in just like
meeting criteria. That's the thing. Because of like, I'll even bring it back to like in high school. Yeah, because my school was new. I went to like a Christian school that was like my church's school. Yeah, and they really used to teach us folk all. Yeah, they used to just teach us folk all, like, as in just to meet this. What's the name of that thing that they give you in the beginning of the semester? Curriculum, yeah. Like week 1, you learn this. Week 2, they're just doing it like lackadaisically. But the week that an education inspector wants to come, that's the time that the teachers are being on our asses, and they are being like so strict and everything, because they want to appear like as if that they are good at their jobs. Yeah. Do you get? When they are really not, because of like the job, especially in secondary school and primary school, is to not just teach you but groom you. You get? Like they are meant to, like, as a teacher, you're meant to like educate and nurture the next generation of citizens. You get? As opposed to just be like, oh fuck you, you're just here. We're just here to waste your time, and you will take your break because we have to cover what we need to cover, that kind of thing. It's like I feel like as if that part they fail in that aspect. I don't know, maybe it's based on the schools I went to, like they really failed in that aspect. But like that's exactly my point.
So I feel like that contributes to the anxiety the children have, because by the time you grow up now, like I said, you realize, the world is not straightforward. Right, that a lot of times I'm not going to know exactly what to do. Right, but since exactly, because you haven't been taught what to do in situations where you don't know what to do. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like you're not prepared for a situation where you don't know anything, and that's what you should have been learning in school. Right? You should have learned, okay, you are this situation,
and that's
do something for yourself. Right,
and that's where students, like kids, they lose themselves in that aspect of like, they lose, like, in the beginning, like I feel like we're all born with a spark, that kind of thing of what we want to do, that kind of all these ideas, because we are new to the world and stuff like that. But as time goes on and you're in this system, you slowly lose yourself. Or you're like, if you're not strong enough, you like the thing consume you, and you to wash out all the things that make you unique. I become like conditioned. That's why I feel like all these guys that work 9 to 5. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I feel like all these guys that end up working 9 to 5, working a job they hate, all this kind of shit, they are like more of robots than human beings, in my own opinion, because they are functioning for them to appear to be better members of society. That's why they end up.
But that's because that's like, if you think about it. If you think about it, that's what education was geared after, right? You're training people to go into the factory to work. But the issue is nowadays most people aren't doing that. We don't even have enough jobs because, like, most things are so easily automated now that most of the real jobs aren't things you go to school for anymore. Right?
They are more technical. Like most of the real jobs are now becoming more technical, like
exactly
skill based. Like, do you have the skill to meet
stuff like that? And then criteria? And then other jobs will be stuff like more artistic things, more creative things, entertainment.
So education should
change to fit the times that it's in, because of we can't be using industrial era knowledge anymore.
So the issue is, since it doesn't foster your creativity, you're stumped, right? So you just come out of school, now your head is blank, you're ready to go into the factory, but there's no factory for you.
Education should be more skill based.
Yeah, I feel like
uni life. I feel uni life should be more skill based, because primary school and secondary school
is though.
I feel should be primary school and secondary school. I feel should be like the foundation.
Secondary school is too late. Honestly.
Yeah, I think okay, maybe based on like type of secondary school that you went to, like I don't know.
Yeah, but like I've seen places like Korea and all these places that they have like technical high schools. You get, so like there's the school for the arts, there's a high school for arts based things like fashion design and all this kind of stuff.
It's in general school, right? I agree with that, where you want people to do stuff more, right? Like when like we were saying, how children are really creative now. At that point, you still have a lot of creativity in you, and you have an idea. You want to try everything or try different stuff. School should be a place where you can actually try those things. Yeah. So by the time you now say, "Oh, if you want to do uni," you're like, "Okay, cool. I
want to go and." Yeah, uni should be the grad school.
More or less.
Like, you get my point. Uni should be grad school, yeah, where you want to go and become a specialist. Yeah. You get, but to learn trade should be in like high school, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Now what I feel now is that uni is now like a place where you give them money, and in exchange they give you a degree.
Yeah.
That's how uni is. That is how education. That is how like education.
That's why I see most people like that can beat the system. They just pay for like all the money up front and just give me certificates.
Mentally, for some people, what they just come to school to do is to get a degree, and after getting a degree, I'll just freestyle the whole way.
That's a better way of it, honestly, because at least if you're doing that, you have the realization that degrees are useless. It's not as important anymore, right? But the issue is that people that they grew up, they were taught, if you get this degree, you get a job. And they do what they were supposed to do. They abandon their dreams because they want to get this job. And when they finish, they're just sitting there with a degree and no one can hire them because there's no job for you. All right?
So we're all in agreement that the current education system is scam. So next thing I want to ask is like, have you guys felt like, since you guys got to this point, that like you have lost yourself along the way, like your dreams and everything? Do you still hold them near, or do you still have those dreams, or have you like lost them completely to like, okay, I need to like, it's not really life. It's more of like, people become two ways. Either you chase your dreams or you chase money.
Not necessarily, but I get what you're saying, I guess.
So what say you guys about that? Have you guys lost
For
yourself?
me personally, I think I haven't, because I already came to the conclusion a long time ago. I was like, at this point, I rather just do the stuff that I enjoy, right? And I rather struggle to find ways to monetize them than, because I know from my life I can't sit down and do a job that I hate. Right? I can't hate myself like that.
But
you know what I mean?
At the same time, I feel that if everybody is saying that they don't want to do all this normal jobs.
No, but that's not everyone. Some people actually enjoy office jobs. Like, I've legit met people that enjoy sitting down typing stuff for the majority of the day. They can do that, are fine with it. Right? But the issue is when you force people that's not what they want. Right?
That's not what they want to do. Like, for example,
I'll force people. I think life just, like, you just eventually just end up there if you don't realize that who you are.
Like me, I'll give credibility to like my friends and YouTube ads. All these guys that be like, you want to make money online. Those guys, they actually upon they sell you shitty courses, yeah. But like the truth of the matter is that it just made me realize that it's one of those things that made me realize that, you man, I can't just sit down in one desk and be typing for one Oga. You get that kind of thing. My Oga at the top to come and now be telling me shit about how I'm not productive. You get that kind of thing. I rather just work and make money in a way that is convenient for me. You get, I don't need to, like, personally, I felt like in the beginning, when I even came to uni, I always felt like, oh, like, it's just how many years of my life, maybe like I'll slave away 10 years of my life and I'll enjoy myself. You know, that kind of thing. Like, I'll work, I'll retire early, that kind of thing. But like, I realized that like money here isn't really everything that it is. You get my point? Like, people make money like they are God in a way where it's like, oh, it's just for the money. But like, just traveling around, learning different cultures, just enjoying this earth that I was born in. You get my point? Because that's the greatest gift. That's life that you have. So you have to live it. Yeah, that's the freedom that you want, like, to live life to the max in your own way. You get, like, I don't want to be tied down by a cage.
Yeah.
You get, like a dog in a cage or a bed in a cage.
So
where
what exactly do you have to do to like escape, to be free in that way? Because I feel that
I don't really have the answer.
Never get started.
I know that.
Because once you get started and you start on that, you start on that whole path of like your 9 to 5 job. That's when it gets increasingly more difficult to leave. Right? It's like the issue as well is for us, for instance, that in Nigeria, right? You're fucked in a lot of ways, because if you're a regular person, you get a job, you get the degree. Not only is it that, oh, we don't need the degree holder, is that even if we need a degree holder, we don't care. We'll just hire someone we know, right? So the average person that has worked, that has done all this working, he can't get a job, and then he can't even like try to manage living normally because the minimum wage he has is shitty. Because I was listening to, I've forgotten who it was, but he was talking about how he's an older gentleman now. So he was talking about earlier in his life, how he just left his, like, he was in this particular state, right? And he wanted to like travel around. He was in America. He wanted to travel around America, right? So he just had his bike, like his motorbike, and he would just go from state to state, and he'll be working as like a bartender or something really small, right? Stay in a small shitty apartment, but he could like do it, right? To experience new things, new people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. At the same time, someone like him now, he knows what he wants. And
you don't know what you want, but
I think knowing what you want,
because he didn't know what
you wanted. That was going to like knowing
so
what
like,
you want.
let me search for it.
That's what I'm saying, Josh. It's like knowing what you want can be akin to just being like, I just want to find myself. And I don't want, like, I envy guys that, like, for instance, now my friend, we went to high school together, like, we grew up together, childhood friend, when it was time for all of us to go to uni, was like, nah, uni is not for me, I'm going to just go and do my own thing. You get that kind of thing, I'm going to find myself.
But coming from where we come from,
exactly, that's the issue. You can't just say, I want to spend time to figure out what I want to do, right? Because it's not possible for you. You're spending too much time surviving. And I feel that the average person has to survive before he can do that. Yeah.
In Nigeria, yeah.
And I feel that we're in like a countdown. Like time is catching up. Sometimes I just feel that
we're getting old quick.
Yeah. I just feel that maybe let me just rewind time or go to the past and tell my younger self that
all this knowledge I've gathered now, let me just pass it on to him. So that by the time when I catch up to this, when he catches up to where we are now, would have had it all fleshed out, that kind of thing. But I get that, yeah. But like what I'm saying is that even though you don't have that opportunity of like especially in Nigeria, it's just like trying different things. Like for instance, now my friend that drew, like I told you that my friend, he draws, yeah. He just opened an account. He's getting paid, like he's getting paid better than most guys that graduate because of the minimum wage in Nigeria is shitty. But he makes twice that from his online jobs for being a freelance artist. You get? So he's not to say that, oh, like he's content with where he is, but he knows that he's still going to push it to get to that next level where he can be comfortable.
That's the point we're making, where the average person can't even do that, right? Because the average person that wants to use his skills to make money in Nigeria, for instance, let's say he learns about freelancing, the struggle he goes through just to do that freelancing, he'll be working at 9
Yeah.
to have money so he can go to the internet cafe. By that time he's too tired to even put in the effort for his skill that he actually wants to do, right? And I feel like that should be the main, whenever we talk about like proper governance or whatever, it's like it should be a situation where the citizens should be able to think that I don't have to worry about survival right now, right? And that's why I feel like when we were talking earlier about education, that secondary school is too late, because the whole point is that at least, you know, primary school, secondary school, those important moments of your life, you know that you're being taken care of. Most people don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to eat today or something, right? Because okay, your school fees are paid for, you're supposed to be taken care of, right? Ideally. So you don't have to worry about survival. And that's the time when you should be figuring out, let me try this thing, let me try that thing, let me feed my curiosity with all these interests. But we don't do that. So by the time you want to start doing that, it's like, oh, but wait, I have to survive. Nobody's going to feed me again. It's like, at that time, it's too late.
But that's where it goes into like growing up in Nigeria. Like, you know, our parents have this map for us in a way. Not just our parents, like society in general, but like in our parents' regard, is that they want us to at least be uni educated, at least get the undergrad. Yet, so when you tell them that no, like, and you stand your ground and be like, no, this is not for me, I want to do my own thing, most parents end up disowning the child.
No, it's not. See, it's that getting a degree, having a job, getting married, and like having a family. In a way, in that that mindset,
it's a
kind of it's very
but it worked for them. That's the issue. It was for them. For them, once you get that degree, which job does not want to suck your dick, guy? All of them will come. Guy, all of them, the jobs will want you. But now, I beg, carry 3 PhDs.
They don't care for that because they know it's obsolete.
Now that
exactly
someone that
my uncle was even telling me a story of one guy that he knew, like he met him in the UK because my uncle moved to the UK, and when he saw his friend again, his friend was working as a security guy, and he was like, yo, what the fuck, like, I know you in uni, Lauren, guy, you got a PhD, like, what are you doing here? And the guy's like, man, anything to escape Nigeria, man. And I was like, that thing actually hit me. I'm like, yo, after everything that this man went through, he sat through all the primary to uni, and I went again to get masters. And after the masters, he was like, I'm going to further this thing to become a doctorate level. And still, this man is working as a security guard.
I feel like most people don't actually enjoy it, because there are people that enjoy that grind of, oh, yeah, I love this course, let me do the masters, let me read on it, let me do my. There are people that enjoy it, but the issue is, I feel like majority of people, or let me not even say majority because I don't know the statistics, but a lot of people don't enjoy that, but they're being forced into it by the situations they're in, right? Like I said, because everyone is telling you that's the way to do it. The people that are feeding you are telling you that's the way to do it. You know, you don't have a real choice or say in the matter, and that's where the issue comes in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that is why it's hard for us, because there is no like book. Yeah. There's no rule book of what to do. There's no
golden rule that if you do this, you guarantee.
Yeah, that is guaranteed that you get this. Because that's why our parents or like normal society be like, because if you get a degree, obviously like it's a higher chance that okay you get a job. And when you get a job, you know the Nigerian mentality is that you should have family, you should get married.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Nigerian mentality is flawed in a way, because like it praises suffering over like being happy. Do you get? It praises that, oh yeah, suffering is noble.
No, they think that you will surely be happy if you have a family, and if you have a family and you have a job.
Yeah, but like Nigerian society, obviously, Like, I'm saying that it obviously like because of I was even watching this interview that Naira Marley did here, and Naira Marley was like that Nigeria, like he left the UK and moved to Nigeria, and when he moved to Nigeria, he saw that people place money, having wealth over like anything. They put wealth, like if you're wealthy, they will respect you. That's why they don't care how you got the wealth, they just respect you as far as you have that wealth.
In Nigeria,
because wealth is power. Yeah,
if you have money, normally I think that's right.
Yeah, but like if you choose to be a noble, if you choose to be a noble person, like even like, oh, I'm not going to do things that because of this doesn't fit my kind of person here, you're seen as being altruistic. You're seen as, oh wow, you're suffering, your greater reward is in heaven. Do you get that kind of thing? Like that's the whole mentality that Nigeria has. That like I feel like it's pretty wrong.
It's fucked
because it just feeds into like the depressed craze. Yeah, that's why in Nigeria now, even if people that want to even end their lives, yeah, they will put you in jail for like I think it's like 7 years or something. If you like they know that the system is fucked, and people you see people like, for instance, even on Instablog and all these things, you see people that
they do it a lot. They do it a lot because like even young people especially, because they realize they've been lied to their entire life. When by the time that, like at least us now, for instance, at least okay, you're in Cyprus, you're fine, sort of education wise. Imagine you're now in a Nigerian university where your teacher, you're a girl, your teacher wants to sleep with you, you're a guy, your teacher tell you to bring money. Because you haven't brought money, you've repeated for the third year in a row. Like, all this kind of, and this, the worst part is, this course, you didn't even want to do it in the first place. It's your parents that force it. Like, all that kind of anxiety, and you look everywhere and they feel like there's actually no way out for them.
The message they give is that you should just endure. That
the real lie is that the suffering will be worth it. And then the person finishes, even when they have that job and are working, and they're like, I'm still not fulfilled in life. I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. That basic fulfillment, I don't feel it. I'm not enjoying what I'm doing in life. So they still feel sad. They take it out. That's why in general, if you look at if you go to Nigeria, in general, a lot of people are miserable. And I feel like that's the main trouble we should look at. Why is it that a lot of us are still miserable, as opposed to, let's what do they call it? Let's tell the government to build new roads for us or something like that. Yeah, because always new roads, even if people without car would be like, government fix road. No.
So me, I feel like in that aspect, but us as young adults here, we have vices like that we use to like get rid of the stress, like to forget about what is plaguing us. Like though everybody has their vices, man. I use anime and games and comic books and shit like that to just forget, like escapism. That's my own tool. So I feel like that is very, very key because people do different things. I don't know about you guys, but those are my vices. You get?
Now at the end of the day, you'll be bored after doing all those stuff.
Yeah, it's a high now. It's a high. Once you get off that high, you get. But
ironically, this problem like worldwide, where I know they did a study. I don't remember when they did, but it's quite recent. And they were checking some people that literally just decide to opt out of the workforce, right? So these guys will literally like have a minimum wage job and spend the rest of their day like on the internet, maybe playing video games, staying at home and stuff like that. And what they found out, the thing that killed me was those people were happier than those people that had the jobs, the big law firms in New York. They were happier. And I was like, how far have we fucked up that real life is now sadder than your virtual life? Exactly. That's an issue, right? Because real life is supposed to be the original. Yeah, and then you should be able to realize happiness from it. You should be happy to be alive every day you wake up and stuff like that.
Yeah, but people have changed that to be more.
I mean, they can't really change, right? Like you can pretend that you're happy, but when you're happy, you're actually happy. You know you're happy, right?
No, definitely. If you're happy, you know you're happy.
So we're just three folks trying to figure out our next stage in life, and we're just chatting shit.